my curious and playful Gemini friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Gemini, this week begins with a quiet tension that lingers beneath your words and gestures. There's an unmistakable undercurrent, like a question you haven't asked out loud, or a yearning that persists even as you go about your day. You might notice it in the way your mind drifts, chasing possibilities, or in the fleeting moments when a single choice seems to carry more weight than usual. It's as if you're standing at a doorway, not quite inside, not quite outside, feeling the pull of what could be, but unsure if you're ready to step through. This isn't anxiety exactly. It's more like the anticipation that comes when you sense that something in your life is ready to change, even if you can't yet name what it is. The world around you keeps moving, but within, you hold your breath, wondering if this is the week when your inner questions finally find their answer. In this atmosphere of suspended possibility, the Magician card stands at the center of your inner world. It isn't about grand gestures or declarations. Instead, it's the subtle recognition of your own agency in shaping how you experience your days. You might notice a restlessness, a desire to connect the scattered pieces of your thoughts and feelings into something whole. There's an impulse to act, to reach out, to create, to finally give form to an idea that's been lingering in the background. Yet, with this urge comes a hint of uncertainty. It's not always clear which tools are truly yours to wield, or which direction will honor your need for both variety and depth. You may find yourself replaying recent conversations, noticing where you held back or where you spoke from instinct rather than intention. There's a subtle pressure to prove to yourself that you can turn inspiration into reality, that your voice can shape outcomes rather than simply responding to them. Beneath it all, you might sense a quiet frustration, the sense that you're capable of so much more, if only you could bring your many selves into alignment. This internal current isn't loud, but it's persistent. It reminds you that, despite any doubts, you have more influence over your experience than you sometimes let yourself believe. The Magician's energy is not about becoming someone else. It's about recognizing the resources already at your fingertips. Your curiosity, your adaptability, your ability to see connections where others see only chaos, these are your strengths. The tension comes from wanting to use them well, to create something meaningful, rather than scattering your energy in every direction. This week, your inner landscape is charged with possibility, but also with the delicate challenge of choosing where to focus your light. As this energy gathers, it naturally gives rise to the path ahead. The friction you feel inside seeks an outlet, and the world responds with invitations, some gentle, some urgent, to engage more deeply. Your restlessness becomes momentum, propelling you into situations where choices matter. The desire for coherence within yourself draws you toward moments where connection with others becomes the focal point. There's a sense of inevitability. The inner longing to act is now mirrored by opportunities and pressures in your outer life. Moving into the heart of the week, the Lovers emerges on your path. This card doesn't simply signal romance. It brings to the surface the ways your relationships and commitments are shifting in response to your inner state. You could feel an increased pull to clarify where you stand, not just with others but with yourself. The world around you seems to ask, who do you want to stand beside? Which connections truly reflect your values and which are echoes of old habits? This is not always comfortable. There's pressure here, the kind that comes from feeling the weight of your own choices, knowing that what you say or don't say has consequences. You may notice friction in conversations that once felt easy. A decision that once seemed straightforward now feels layered with meaning. The expectations of others might press in, asking you to define your role, your loyalties, or your boundaries. This isn't about conflict for its own sake. It's about the growing need to bring your actions into alignment with your inner truth. The Lover's card marks a period where the stakes feel higher, because what you choose now carries the potential to reshape your relationships and your sense of self. Pressure can also come from within. The urge to please, to keep options open, is challenged by the deeper longing for honesty and authenticity. This week, you might feel pulled between competing desires, to belong and to assert your individuality, to commit and to stay free. These tensions don't have easy answers, but they create the conditions for meaningful choice. The path before you is not decided for you. It is shaped each time you allow your inner clarity to inform your outer commitments. In this space, vulnerability and courage walk side by side. It becomes clear that the potential of this week isn't automatic. It sits quietly, waiting for you to meet these moments with presence and awareness. If you move through these days on autopilot, the chance for real growth passes by unnoticed. But when you choose to engage, to listen closely to yourself and to others, the shape of what's possible begins to change. This is not about striving for perfection. It's about allowing yourself to be fully awake to what matters most, even when that means holding tension rather than resolving it too soon. Here, the 9 of Pentacles glimmers in the distance, not as a reward but as an invitation. This card speaks to a state of being that is both self-sufficient and deeply satisfied, but it is not reached by accident. It emerges when you honor what you value, tending to your own needs with quiet consistency. You might notice moments this week when you feel at home in your own skin, aware of your own efforts and the simple pleasures they bring. These are not grand achievements but small recognitions, pauses where you acknowledge how far you've come or savor the comfort of doing something for its own sake. Growth here is subtle. It doesn't look like winning or arriving, it feels like ease. You begin to sense the difference between striving for approval and finding contentment in your own company. As you move through the pressures and choices of the week, you may discover that your perspective shifts. What once felt like a frantic search for answers settles into a quieter appreciation for the present moment. The 9 of Pentacles invites you to notice how your investments, in time, care, honesty, bear fruit not in dramatic gestures, but in the gentle increase of confidence and calm. This potential isn't guaranteed, and it doesn't close the door on tension or longing. Instead, it offers you a glimpse of what becomes possible when you meet your week with sincerity and steadiness. You are reminded that fulfillment grows from within, shaped by the choices you make in response to both inner yearning and outer opportunity. As the week unfolds, the 3 cards, the Magician, the Lovers, and the 9 of Pentacles, combine into a living thread. Your restless longing stirs the air, calling you to recognize your own agency and the resources you have at hand. This inner spark gives rise to choices, sometimes fraught with pressure, that ask you to clarify what you stand for and who you wish to stand beside. In the space between impulse and commitment, you find your way, not by forcing a resolution, but by letting your actions mirror your deepest values. And then, almost quietly, you notice the texture of your days shifting. The more you engage with honesty and care, the more you recognize that self-worth is not something you must earn. It's something you grow by tending to what matters, moment by moment. Even as questions remain, a sense of calm assurance begins to take root. You find satisfaction not in having all the answers, but in living the questions fully. This is the gift of the week, the slow, steady unfolding of confidence, woven from the choices you make and the presence you bring. Actionable insights for Gemini this week. This week's emotional tension invites you to slow down and notice what is stirring within you. You could gently try giving yourself more space to reflect before answering others. It may feel grounding to pay attention to the small pleasures that come from following your honest preferences, even in everyday routines. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am present with what I feel right now. I honor my needs, even when they change. Each choice I make brings me closer to myself. I trust the steady growth unfolding within me. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.